All right, welcome to episode 0 of Cooking with Chivi. Cooking with Chivi is a thing that my cousin Tatone came up with forever ago when I was a little kid because I like to cook, and he always thought it would be funny if there was a cooking show named Cooking with Chivi because that was one of his many nicknames for me. In this test episode, we're just going to do some things editing-wise, see how it goes, try some stuff that way. So we're going to do my grandpa's spaghetti and meatballs. He learned this recipe in World War II. Do you remember the story, Tatone?
I heard he was in New York and he learned it from an Italian guy. And he did like 3 cans of water to 1 can of paste, right? I think it's paste.
Yeah, tomato paste. But like, wasn't it after he got injured in World War II? His hand got really messed up in an explosion of some kind, like a gun turret jammed or something?
He was cleaning up Pearl Harbor, and he picked up a landmine on accident and blew 3 of his fingers off, and he only had pinky and ring finger left on his left hand, or right hand. I can't remember. Was it the left hand?
I think it was right, wasn't
it?
Yeah, because he held the fork like that, but they had to rearrange his fingers so he could get a better grip. But I think it was like after that, he was a guard at a prisoner of war camp and learned it there or something like that, or some kind of detention center.
Yeah, and then he learned it from like some Italian guy.
Yeah. But yeah, so that's where this recipe comes from. I love it. My mom learned it from him. Tone's mom learned it from him. They're sisters. So I'll open up one of these. Need to get an electric can opener. So I'll just show you one of these.
Yeah, it's nice having your parents knowing your grandpa's old Italian spaghetti recipes.
This recipe I kind of wing it as you go along. So this is a 12-quart saucepan. Like Tone said earlier, just empty out a can and you fill up the can 3 to 4 times with water. Really make sure you scrape the can with the spatula to get all this tomato paste out you can. Then I would probably only do 3 per can because it cooks down a lot. This recipe takes a long time to cook. And then you can always add more water. And scrape these real good, get all the tomato paste out. But I'll do all those other cans.
Change, where's this change? I'm straining, but this looks the same. Blame where you're blame. You ask for the yoke and the rain. You sell the promises, we buy the promises. I took the time, stood in line to learn that we're led by the pine. It's a crime, we're falling inside. We never sing that song.
All right, so I'll put this. It's my first time I've really ever used his stove. Double coil.
Oh yeah, there's a single and double coil on it. Electric stoves are weird like that.
So we'll kind of put it like medium low until it boils, and this is going to reduce a lot. I'm going to season it, but just a little bit to give it a little bit of flavor, because you don't really want to season it until you're about ready to add your meatballs in. And then you can cut, and then even then you don't want to season it too much because the meatballs are also going to flavor this a lot because of the different meats and seasonings that go in that. So yeah, let this come to a boil. Don't cover it. It's going to go everywhere. You're going to have a mess, but it's a fun time.
a taste. I see your frantic pondering will keep this at an even pace. So quiet down, don't say a word. This is gonna hurt some. You can't say you don't deserve the shame in the walls of your sleep. Security, bring back the lies of all the guys. Just know that I will not forgive. So crawl if you will, beg if you will, fight if you will, but this is gonna hurt some. Time to set it right. Possibly I could defer.
Yeah, so it's reduced quite a bit. I seasoned it a little bit more garlic powder. So Tone's gonna try a little bit right now. It's still not ready.
Ooh.
And then I put a little bit of salt in it this time.
Ooh, that was hot and good.
So time for the meatballs, getting those ready. I usually do equal parts ground beef and spicy Italian sausage. So I was gonna do 2 pounds of ground beef and 2 pounds of spicy Italian sausage. And this isn't usually the kind that I get. The place I went to didn't have the spicy Italian sausage I wanted. And they just unfortunately had the one package of that. So I had to do regular Italian sausage on the second one.
Oh, you got hot and Italian in there?
Yeah, because I usually do the 2 pounds of ground beef, 2 pounds of spicy Italian sausage, but it's a little different today.
And the ground beef, so it's going to be amazing.
So for the seasonings on the meatballs, probably do about a tablespoon.
Fresh garlic, huh?
Yeah, tablespoon and a half of garlic. Let me get this knife real quick.
I love garlic, like my favorite thing.
Yeah, and you can use more garlic, you can use less. Maybe do like a half or like a teaspoon salt, just a little bit. A little bit more pepper and salt. But I want a decent amount of garlic powder too.
It's looking so
Just
good.
a tad more. Then you can like not do breadcrumbs at all. You could use breadcrumbs. I'm just gonna grab some of these. Some mashed up saltines. That's 1 sleeve.
Oh, the crackers.
Yeah, I'll probably put in that much for now. Then if you need more, add more. Then I have 2 beat up eggs. I usually do 1 egg for every pound of ground beef and spicy Italian sausage. So for this, anywhere like 2 to 3 eggs. This is 2. So everything sticks together. And then I'll mix that up. So we're ready to drop in our meatballs. I let these sit in the fridge for a while, let everything marry together. Probably want to leave it in like an hour, hour and a half, so you can start doing your meatballs, getting them ready right as soon as you get your sauce made and boiling. The bigger the meatball size that you make, the longer they're going to take to cook. Probably doing... Actually, that's something we could add to our list, is some scoops.
Oh yeah, like an ice cream scoop, kind of.
Not that big.
Looks good. It looks big enough to eat.
And you can honestly make them any size you want. Could cut up mozzarella, like a string cheese, into little bite-sized pieces and stuff these with them. Probably the most time-consuming part, besides letting the actual sauce boil down. And I split it into 2 pans because, like I said, I'm doing a really big batch this time because we're gonna want leftovers for meatball sandwiches. And as this cooks, you'll want to skim off the fat that rises to the top, just like the other stuff that you kind of skim off the sauce before you put the meatballs in.
Damn, boy, he's sick, boy! That's a thick ass boy!
Alright, so the water for our noodles is boiling because our meatballs are done. I condensed the 2 pans back into one after it reduced enough. I'm sure y'all know how to cook pasta noodles, like spaghetti noodles. Keep them warm. And then probably next clip, everything will be all done and plated up. Alright, and there's Tone's, and there's mine. It's all plated up and ready to go. And they're even better the next day for a sandwich, trust me.